Varane and Martial said goodbye to Old Trafford yesterday, but they weren't the only one, with two other players confirmed to be leaving. We've also got news on Branthwaite, Olise, a couple of the transfer-ins, tossing the free centre-back. We've got some interesting info on that. And actually, Manchester United have had talks with some players' agents and not given any clarity over Ten Hag's future, but also the lack of communication on Ten Hag's future is worrying, but that has gone into the Varane situation. There's been a lack of communication on Varane and certain players' future, and it's causing a few problems within the camp, which we will dive into. So hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football. Welcome back to your latest Manchester United news show, where we're going to round up all the news in less than 10 minutes for you guys. Please do hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below for new. We have got a manager update at the end, but let's start on the transfer news coming in from David Ornstein and the Manchester Evening News, and then we'll get into the other more discussion-based news. Manchester United are monitoring Jarrad Branthwaite with a view to make a move when the transfer window opens. Amadou Onana is also understood to be under consideration among the Old Trafford hierarchy. It was then said that Michael Olise's release clause is believed to be in the region of 60 million. However, it is a complicated mechanism, as it's not straightforward as pay the fee. So there's 60 million release clause for Olise. Some sources saying 55, but there's a couple of factors in place which mean that you can't just put like a 60 million bid in, bish bash bosh, get it done, which would be nice because we could sell Greenwood and Sancho. That's 60 million. Put it on Olise, have Olise and Ahmed on the right wing next season, Garnacho and Rashford on the left wing next season. Anthony, if we can sell him, great. You'll probably go out on loan. Bish bash bosh. So I think Olise is one of those that I think we'll go for, but it could be difficult to do. I think if Branthwaite is under 60 million, we'll go for him. I think if Amadou Onana is available for the right price, we'll go for him. But I think when you look at the price of Weaver, when you look at the price of Fofana, I don't know if Amadou Onana is really worth over £50 million. But Everton's financial situation may mean they have to cash in on at least one of Branthwaite and Onana. And I do think Branthwaite they're more likely to cash in on because of his age. And well, actually, there's only like a year and a half between them, but seems to have a few more suitors, and they could maybe get a bit more money for him, as he has been Everton's best player this season, whereas a lot of Everton fans would happily sell Onana because he's a bit hit and miss. Continuing on, I now want to talk about a few issues surrounding the lack of truth and communication at United. First of all, we're going to talk about this Michael Plant report, and then we're going to talk about other reports that have just sort of highlighted information that's been going around United. And this was some information here. A clear lack of communication has frustrated several players, with a growing sense that experienced squad members are being pushed out. Rafa Varane's departure has already been confirmed, while Casemiro is likely to depart this summer. So that was said by Michael Plant. And obviously, we know the whole De Gea situation. He was going to stay. We offered him a reduced contract, lower wages. It was agreed, but then it wasn't agreed. They didn't sign off. De Gea went. Rafa Varane's been like the last couple of months, but the last month we've almost been like, okay, he's leaving. Varane's done the leaving announcement video, but there was some reports suggesting that Varane wanted to stay. He was going to accept reduced terms, and I do think I understand getting rid of Varane when he's on 350k a week and he's very injury prone. I get that. But Varane shouldn't be leaving before Lindelof and Maguire, in my opinion. There's not much difference in age between them or availability this season. He is the best of our centre-backs, Varane, particularly leaving on a free. I would have given Varane a one-year contract extension. That way, if you're not planning on keeping him, at least you get some money for selling him, because you could get money for Varane. But if Varane was willing to accept a reduced wage, I don't know why Man United got rid of him. I really don't. I think in 350k, we got to understand it, invest that, younger project, more available. If he was willing to accept a reduced wage, why are we getting rid of him? Was there an internal issue with Ten Hag we don't know about? Maybe, I don't know. There was a few rumours about that. It was also said there has also been a feeling of uncertainty surrounding Manchester United's next steps, and as the club captain, Bruno Fernandes sought out clarity in a meeting with senior executives last week. Those talks were seen as largely positive, with the player and the club underlining their commitment to each other, and it's believed there's little chance of Fernandes leaving this summer, despite reports of Bayern Munich's interest. There was a lot of reports that Bruno could be leaving Manchester United this summer and that he wants to leave and have a new project. David Ornstein said it himself. Bruno will probably stay at Manchester United. He doesn't want to leave to United. He's not actively pushing to leave, but he wants to be ambitious. He wants to win, and he's had a meeting with Ineos, and Ineos have convinced Bruno that things are going to change at United and they're going to be ambitious, and that might be enough to keep Bruno here. I think Bruno Fernandes' future depends on the ambition of United, because he's a very good, ambitious player. Talking of things that Ineos must improve, and that is definitely communication next season. They've only just come in, we'll let them off here, but they do need to improve communication. The whole speculation around Ten Hag, Varane, I'd like a bit more clarity at United. I understand that sometimes they just can't answer things, but the communication, the speculation, I think it causes problems, it causes negativity, it gets to the dressing room. I'd like less rumours to be circling around next season. But it was said in recent developments at Manchester United, the uncertainty surrounding manager Erik ten Hag's future has led to a dip in players' confidence and motivation. The silence from Ineos, the club's new ownership group, has left several players in limbo, unsure of their roles moving forward. Adding to the tension, sources indicate that Varane was willing to remain at the club under reduced wage contract. However, much like former goalkeeper David De Gea, he's seemingly been compelled to exit against his wishes. This tender forcing out seasoned players has stirred unease within the squad, exaggerating an already fragile morale. Now, first of all, I like that we're getting rid of anyone. I like that, anyone's going to go. There's a standard. Varane's going to go, Casemiro's going to go, De Gea's going to go. Big names are going, big high wage players are going. They're setting a standard of, it doesn't matter who you are, you're not powerful. But then it's also annoying because it's like, okay, Casemiro's going to go, Varane's going to go, De Gea's going to go, but okay, what are we going to do with Lindelof? What are we going to do with Wan-Bissaka? What are we going to do with this British core that aren't good enough? Now, I understand keeping McTominay and Maguire at Man United next season as squad players because they both had a decent role. They're just not good enough to start if we want to win a title. But we can get money from it. We can get money from Maguire. I'd probably sell Lindelof and keep Maguire for another year just because Varane is going. Why is it always pushing out the Casemiros, the Varanes, the De Geas? They get their own massive wages. But we also need to get rid of some of the other players that we just know aren't good enough. We need to do that. And I think while I have a bit of sympathy for Varane and the lack of communication, and I think it was a bit weird that he wanted to stay and they were like, no. And I do have a bit of sympathy for Casemiro because it's very obvious Ineos have been trying to force him out since day dot, and maybe that's why his head's a little bit in Saudi when he's playing. And I like that Ineos are like, we're forcing people out, we're going to do this massive clear out, and that's fine. But we need to see it's not just you're forcing these players out, but you're still keeping the same players that have been in 5 years. That's what I just want to see a bit of clarity on. Continuing on, more uncertainty around Ten Hag's future remains. Now, it won't be answered to after the FA Cup final, but let's read this. Advisors acting on behalf of potential new Manchester United signing Tosin Adebayo have been offered no guarantee that Ten Hag will be in charge next season. The United hierarchy remain undecided about the manager. Man United have talks with Olise agent, I think Tolibo's agent, Tosin Adebayo's agent. I think even some discussions with Bramthwaite, or discussions planned with Bramthwaite, and some discussions with Sesko. And it's basically just been said, do you know what? Like, we don't know about Ten Hag's future. It seems that Ineos are undecided. Now, the one thing is, Ten Hag's demeanour in the last 2 days, his speech, the way he's been speaking, he looks like a man that's just been reassured that he's staying and speaks like a man that's just been reassured that he's staying. But who knows? Who knows? Tuchel could be staying at Bayern now. Tuchel wanted Man United job. Is Tuchel now going to stay at Bayern because even though he would have probably chosen United over Bayern, he's realised United aren't going to go for him because they're staying with Ten Hag? I'm not sure. But 2 players that are leaving, 2 more exits have been confirmed, and that is Johnny Evans and Tom Heaton will leave the club when their contract expires. It was expected that they would leave, but there was some rumours about Johnny Evans' contract getting extended because he'd been a really good servant for the club. And I think, it was nice having Johnny Evans back for a year in the end. When we didn't get Kim and Jay and we brought Johnny Evans back for the year, I thought, what a disgrace. What a mess this club was. But actually, in reality, it was nice. He was a good centre-back. He was reliable. He came on a free. He brought his experience. He brought his professionalism. He's going to stay at the club within the coaching, I believe. But I think, some people say they'll extend his contract. But let's be honest, Johnny Evans was great for the year. He helped us get by because no one thought we were going to have this many injury problems in defence. But Johnny Evans at 37 should not be at Man United. We've got to up the standards of quality, but he's a good player to have around because he's got a great mentality. Talking of United, we have got a little update on the manager situation. Apparently, there's been no movement towards McKenna at present, and the prospect is not expected to develop. And Ratcliffe, although it is keen on appointing a young manager, should Manchester United make a change. It feels like Ratcliffe wants a sort of Arteta kind of investment type manager where you invest in a manager over long term. But there's been no real confirmation on that. I think, to be honest, we will probably look at McKenna if Ten Hag stays next season and things go wrong and McKenna's doing well with Ipswich in the Prem. We'll have to see how it develops. Anyway, there is actually some transfer news coming in on Monaco midfielder Fofana. There is some transfer news coming in on Xerxes as well, but we will cover that in tomorrow's video. So make sure you subscribe to that, guys. Please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe. See you next time. Bye.